How is it that, Pastor?
Yeah,
Are you able to go live now?
it's loading. I think it's live on. Okay, it's okay. Live now.
With the old link or with the new link?
This is a new link.
So just send that new link so that people can share it with other people to join that.
Yes. Well, first test. It's all good. How many days?
Who is speaking where?
Problem. Yeah.
MAD. Please let me first send this link to you so
Okay,
that
sir. All right.
you try to log in there, and then before we distribute it.
Okay, sir.
Don't mind. It's the YouTube that is really echoing it.
Okay, it's fine, sir. I've checked it. We can share it. Hello, sir. Did you hear me?
Yes, mute the Zoom and hear from the YouTube.
Yes, I heard myself on the YouTube just now.
Okay, beautiful. So we can distribute this.
Yes, sir. Let me distribute it on the YouTube, the old YouTube, because people are there also.
Okay, for people to beautiful, but let me also be.
Yes. I'm telling you, and I will never send that kind of money for that. You need to have a girl child, a big girl child. Well, you don't need this. Hello, can you much? Yeah, man. For what? Tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow, next week what is? Yes, tomorrow next week. The next week should be this probably. The one that first is when. Yes. Thank you. I'll come with that. Oh my God. Wow.
What's happening? When is meeting starting?
Absolutely. Everybody.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, we had a little hitch. Where is the noise coming from? Sorry, we have the little hitch, but we are fixing it. And so we are configuring a new YouTube to watch from, but we're almost done. But we need people to come on this. Only 64 people have entered this.
Had to go to investigate and find out what happened to the $100 billion Ponzi scheme that a number of people were involved in, a number of corporations were involved in. So today, we're going to start a 3-part series on Omega Pro. Now, I have to tell you guys that Omega Pro started in 2018, just a year before Novatech. And it started out as a Forex trading, just the same way Novatech started. Now, you notice that Omega Pro was registered in St. Vincent and the Grenadines because of the secrecy laws dealing with corporation. But Omega Pro basically operated out of Dubai. Now, this was 2018. In 2019, the people involved in Omega Pro, and I'm going to show you who they are, they started this worldwide recruitment where they were recruiting people in Latin America and Africa and different places around the world to basically encourage, to basically pushing people to invest. But now we all know that Omega Pro was a Ponzi scheme. Now, certainly there's been people involved in Omega Pro that were arrested by the FBI, sentenced to 5 years in prison for things not directly related to Omega Pro, but these people were working with Omega Pro at the time. So because the Omega Pro situation is so complex, I want to take my time to explain it to you. And I want to take my time to show you who's been the man behind Omega Pro. Now, I'm going to take this in step. The first person that I want to talk to you about, it's a man named Michael Shannon Sim, okay? Now, he's known as Mike Sim. Mike Sim, whose picture I'm going to show you in a minute, was basically the co-founder of Omega Pro, okay? Now, Mike Sim, as you can see here, as you can see his picture there, started Omega Pro and served as strategic advisors. But after Maxim started Omega Pro, what Maxim did before they started recruiting people all over Africa, they basically went in and create other companies. And the purpose of creating the other companies was to divert the people's investment. So they create 2 companies called YAS1 and YAS2, YAS1 and YAS2. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is because I want you to understand what happened here. So you got Omega Pro in one hand and you got these 2 other corporations in another hand, right? So the money that people were invested on Omega Pro, thinking that their money was being invested in foreign X, which is foreign exchange, currency exchange, and crypto, were actually being funneled to YAS1 and YAS2, okay? So how do we know this? Because the FTC, okay, the Federal Trade Commission filed a lawsuit against a number of principals in YAS1 and YAS2. And Michael Sim, this guy that you see right here, this black guy you see right here, who resides in Atlanta, is one of the architects of both Omega Pro and YAS1 and YAS2, okay? Now, this is where things get very dicey, right? When FTC filed a lawsuit against YAS1 and YAS2, which is 2 companies that wasn't necessarily related to Omega Pro, the president and founder of Omega Pro, this guy named Andreas Saskas, you see his picture here. Andreas Saskas is a Sweden national who is the co-founder and CEO of Omega Pro. And of course, Dilawar Singh, which is Indian guy who lives out of Germany, he was a co-founder and served as the chief network officer. Okay, in addition to a gentleman named Nader Pudeljo. Nader Pudeljo looked to me that he's Indian. He was Omega Pro's president. And now, as I'm and of course, we're going to talk about all of this, but I don't want to lose the train of the story here, okay? So let's stay with Michael Sim. Michael Sim created these two companies, and he was siphoning money from Omega Pro, investors from Omega Pro, put the money in YAS1 and YAS2 as two investment vehicle. But guess what?
Good evening, everyone, especially for those of us who have joined this meeting. I am sorry for the little hitch we had that necessitated us changing the platform, as in changing the link. You know, things happen. We had tested all of this yesterday night up to like 12 a.m. this morning, and everything was fine. But just now, when we're about to start, I can show you the screen. It's giving us an error message, which was unexpected, which we tried all our best to fix. But when we couldn't fix it, we had to use another method to just ensure that this meeting holds. As we speak, we have, let me see how many people are here now. 193 people in. And don't forget, we're expecting over 5,000 people in this meeting. The hiccup could have caused this delay. However, I want to plead with us to be patient so that we can achieve our purpose once and for all. So thank you. Let's be patient. The meeting will start as soon as we sense that majority of the people that desire to join, they have joined. So please MAD, please help me go again and keep dropping the new link in the old group. I learned some of them are still there. Please, let's keep dropping the link until all of them have it. Okay. While we are waiting and more people are joining, now we have 217 people in now, and more people are joining. I will start to play. I will continue to play the video that the professor released concerning our matter, and that will be playing on the background. Thank you.
It was the same Ponzi scheme because those money were never invested. How do we know that? Because the FTC filed a lawsuit out in the District of Texas. And in the lawsuit, they said clearly that he did not invest the money. Okay, he did not invest the money. Now, I want to show you a picture of these guys. Okay, now let's look at this. You've got Andreas Saskas, who is, like I said, who is a Sweden, from Sweden. We have Maxim here from the United States, who's being now sued by the FTC. And Dilawa Singh, who is German, I think he's probably Indian, and also Juan Carlos Reynoso. Now, these guys basically were the heart. They designed the Ponzi scheme that's called Omega Pro. Now, how do we know this? Because when the FTC sued Mike Sim, the FTC talked about YAS1 and YAS2, even though in the complaint of the FTC never mentioned Omega Pro. But guess what happened? Andreas Zaskas told investors of Omega Pro that their money, their investment, first he said two things. The first thing he said to them was that some unknown hackers somehow hacked the company's website. So therefore, people's money and account they couldn't retrieve them. They had to go hire another company out of London to take care of it. That's what they told investors. Now, that story was before the FTC sued them. Once the FTC sued them, now these guys come forward and told the investors that somehow it was the FTC now that has control of their money. Okay? Now, guys, let's think of it for a minute. Okay, let's think of it for a minute. I have said to you before, and I have said to you many times, that you have to stay away from those Ponzi schemes. And I know for most of you wants to get rich, you want to make money, you just really want to understand that there is no quick way to get rich. And when somebody comes to you and offer to make you money and offer to get you these great returns, you're going to have to do your due diligence, okay? Now, Maxim, and I want to talk about him today. Maxim is this guy here that I told you who is basically the heart of what's going on with regard to Omega Pro. Now, unfortunately, there are a lot of people, tens of thousands of people in Africa, different countries in Africa who lost hundreds of millions of dollars on Omega Pro. And the reason why they lose this money is because basically what happened was people have gone out. They've basically recruited people from Nigeria. These people have gone out and they're trying to recruit other people, because the best way to recruit people is to get somebody from your own country who speak your language, who's part of your culture. Then there is a building trust, because this is somebody that looks like you, that speak like you, that dress like you, that eat the same food you eat. You tend to basically trust that person. So this is what Omega Pro did. They went out and get all these people to go to their own particular country and recruit. So they recruited tens of thousands of people from Nigeria, from different places. And unfortunately, these people lost a lot of money. So now I want to show you a video that was done a few years ago. And this video was done because this gentleman in the video was from Nigeria, and he was asking the CEO of Omega Pro whether or not Omega Pro was actually a serious company, whether it was a good investment vehicle, whether or not this was not a fraud. And I want you to listen to what the CEO said.
Are you a STEM professional and are looking to apply for U.S. permanent residency? Then stay tuned, because today I'm going to be discussing an exciting option for certain professionals in the STEM field. I'm attorney Carlos Colombo, and today we're going to discuss an opportunity for professionals that are in science.
He was asking very specific question to the CEO whether or not Omega Pro was a Ponzi scheme. And the CEO actually never answered that specific question. He keeps talking about what plan that Omega Pro have to try to expand and provide those services, but he never, and in fact, when he asked that question, the guy wasn't even shocked, because if I was running a company and it was a legal company and somebody asked me whether this was a Ponzi scheme, I would be shocked. I'd be like, what? He wasn't shocked. And that is one of the reasons why I said that Omega Pro, we all know it was a Ponzi scheme. Now,
Yeah, good evening, everyone. And once again, let me apologize on behalf of the committees, the Communication Committee, the Intelligence Committee, and the Legal Committee for the hitch that we had on Sunday when we were supposed to have this meeting. The meeting held, but unfortunately, on the Zoom that can only accommodate 500 people. Let me explain what happened. Before that Sunday, we had this conversation with the law firm. I had also had to first posted on some platform requesting for anyone that has a Zoom platform that can take thousands of people that I didn't get. And so we had to go back to the law firm who was organizing this, who we want to organize this meeting to ask them if we can use their platform. They told us that their platform can only take 500 people. However, they promised to connect the Zoom, the Zoom to the website, to the YouTube. So, which was fine. And then we shared the link to every one of us. Now, the problem was that eventually we saw reasonably that the professor, who is one of the members of the legal team, was driving when the meeting time came up. I want us to understand that there's bound to be all of these hiccups in an environment where our time zones are different. They are in America, in Florida, where most of us are in Nigeria. So I remember someone, the meeting before this, told me that he waited. He was in America, but he waited for the meeting, patiently. But he dozed off because it was actually in a night time where, not America, where he was. And so when you understand that, we know that sometimes these things can just happen. So Professor was really driving in his car. We could all see it on the Zoom meeting that he was driving in his car as at the time that the meeting time came up. And so I guess that because of that, he couldn't get to set up the YouTube connection. And so we had only 500 people that could attend that meeting. But be as it may, we felt disappointed. However, the good thing was, even though we didn't plan it, some members of the team were taking recordings of the conversation, both in video and in audio. And that was, surprisingly to me, was posted on the group, on the groups. And the beautiful thing was that people could listen to it. But as human beings, the fact that we had called the meeting, it didn't hold as it should hold, and it could bring some mind games. And so that's why we said, rather than allow our people to go through this kind of thing, it is safer for us to call another meeting and state exactly everything that was stated in that meeting of Sunday. And so once again, on behalf of all the committee members, I apologize for that hiccup. Today also, yesterday night, we were setting up this connection to Zoom and all of that, and we tested it till like 12 a.m., three of us. And but this evening, when I set up the system by 8:30, trying to connect, and it kept giving us that the stream link had expired. And we did all we couldn't. So we had to quickly get another option, which is where we are now. Currently, we have 316 people in this meeting. I will please beg the indulgence of all the leaders in the House and people that have that love their teams to continue. Don't say we have dropped enough. Let's continue dropping it on all the groups so that we can have more people. Because if you have 360 people here, that means Sunday's meeting was still even far better than what we are having now. So Having said that, we will proceed with the meeting. We will allow anyone that have any question to drop it in the chat room. I will appoint one or two of my people to copy it for me from the YouTube chat room and drop it for me in my room here, so that we can attend to it. It may not be easy to be checking two screens at the same time, even though I still have a monitor here. Yes, people are saying some people are still in the other room. Please, so even in the other room, let's keep dropping the link and every of our other rooms. Thank you very much, Ifedolapo. Thank you, everyone. Like I said, we are extremely sorry for this. I saw somebody asking what is the purpose of this meeting to us. And it's very unfortunate if anybody is asking that question at this point, because the purpose of this meeting was clearly stated in the invitation for the meeting. The purpose was clearly stated, and I'm going to read it again so that in case you just gloss over the purpose of the meeting, then you can again get to understand the purpose of this meeting. And I'm going to read it. Dear Nigeria co-investors, we hope this invitation meets you well. We bring you good news. In our efforts towards the possible recovery of our funds from Omega Pro, we came across a legal team that specializes in funds recovery and has just recently recovered funds for investors in another defunct investment opportunity. The last general meeting we called, the Nigerian investors were briefed about this development. That was sometimes in March. We had several meetings with them and formally requested them to represent our cause, to which they have graciously consented. We hereby invite you to a meeting with the law firm to highlight the modus operandi as well as what is expected of us as investors. So this, for somebody or anybody that did not read this well, this is the reason we call this meeting. And we, like I said, we're in the meeting of Sunday. The videos were dropped across the groups, even though it was not formally taken, but beautiful. What we are doing is an open source. And so take video, take audio, take everything, send it. That is actually what we want, so that as many people that were unreachable prior to now could be reached. Please, let's keep broadcasting this, because the number has not changed from 316 people in attendance. And I think if we broadcast enough, more people will join. So having said this, this is the reason we called this meeting. So I'm going to do a very brief explanation of what we have done, and I am going to leave us. And from now, please start dropping your questions in the chat room. Okay, so that is that. Now, like I've said, we wrote to the to this company. Let me also brief us this, and I want to say this here, and this is very important. Let me again share my screen to everyone. Please let everyone, every member of the Nigerian Omega Pro Investors Reclamation Fund, go to YouTube and look for this channel. It is called, he is called the Professor Truth Be Told. The Professor Truth Be Told. Can you see it? So look for it and do every of your investigation about this man, the company he represents, which is Will Morris Law Firm. And look through the process. Like we said, there are more than that, we know there are more than 7 companies, investment companies like Omega Pro, that went down within 5 months, around the same time that Omega Pro went down. And having said that, two of them had approached Will Morris Law Firm. The first is Emini FX, and the second one is Novatech. Emini FX was the first to approach them, and please listen very well, because I saw some people misrepresenting what was presented last time. Sorry for the break. Along the line, towards the end, we also had, they also had Novatech approach them to help them recover. The Novatech recovery is in progress. The investigation and recovery and litigation process is in progress. The one that they have recovered for is Emini FX, not Novatech. Please get that very clearly. I saw somebody was saying it's a lie, Novatech has not recovered of Novatech. And if you go to this YouTube channel, the professor, truth be told, again, I'm going to share the screen so that you see it clearly. You will see every procedure, every process, every meetings they called from day one of the engagement with Emini FX up till even the point of collecting people, investors, data for payment. You will see everything there. It's a transparent process. And so when we got this information by one of our committee members who also invested in one of these companies, we quickly reached out to this professor. Fortunately, we were able to get across to him. And since February, we started engaging them, requesting that they consider to also stand for us as our legal to pursue this case. Now, in the process, we were asked to write a formal letter requesting their service. And this letter was written on the 20th of March. This letter was written. I'm going to just I'm going to also, very briefly, I'll be showing my screen, but I don't want to. So this letter was written on the 20th of March. Request for retainership for class action lawsuit against Omega Pro Forex Trading, its proxies and individuals that have absconded with over 10 billion investment, over 1.5 million investors globally, and over 200 million for over 30,000 Nigeria in Forex trading scheme. So this was our request. I'm going to be moving fast. And then we were made to understand that not less than 5 of these kind of requests is with them. And so it took about 2-3 weeks and they got back to us. Let me search for the letter. In acceptance to represent us and to engage, to accept to be engaged in retainership for this process. I'm trying to get the letter. I'm going to get it. Don't worry. And so we started this conversation. I will continue this conversation. Let me not say we started. And in the process, the letter, I want to show you the letter that the response, okay, if I can't get it, let me just find the folder and signed response. Beautiful. Okay. So we got this letter from Morris Legal. You can see my name is here, and also my partner who is the pointsman contact with Morris. Request for retainership, and they said the law firm of Morris acknowledged receipts, and this, as you know, our firm specializes in litigation involving crypto fraud. It's a very expensive endeavor because we must retain the services. Let me make this very bold, because we must retain the services of an investigation firm to locate the assets. We must collect the information, including crypto wallets from e-wallets, from all the investors interested in becoming involved in lawsuit. The investigation is very expensive and time-consuming, but it's very necessary to make sure that we can trace and recover the fund. Morris Legal will agree to undertake the representation of this group. Subject to the following terms. We will provide the email address of the wallet address of the investors, wallet address of where we sent money when we're investing in Omega Pro, and also for those who had made withdrawals, the wallet address of Omega Pro that you use in paying. Provide the name and address of the crypto company who own crypto platform where investors purchase their crypto and send to Omega Pro. Execute a retainer agreement on behalf of the reclamation fund. And number 5, say a retainer deposit of $150,000 to cover the cost of investigation and monitor the FTC case against Maxim upon execution of the retainer agreement. Provide the names and address of Nigerian members who reside in United States, Florida, and New York especially. Provide the name, address, email of person who shall be in charge of communicating with the law firm. If those terms are acceptable to you and your group, please let us know so that we can move to the next step. So when we got this letter on the 3rd of April, the first thing that we did was to start engaging them, especially on the cost of retaining an investigation firm. And at the point, they had to bring the investigation firm to a meeting with us because we're pleading with them that cost was too much. And in fact, by the time when the investigation, the representation of the investigation team came, one of the things he said was that even after reviewing our case, it's almost clear that that cost was going to be underquoted, to have been underquoted for. And because of that, there is nothing to do about it. We tried to explain our circumstances to them. Several things went in about 3 different meetings. And sorry, I'm trying to charge my laptop. The battery's down. Please excuse. Why is this thing not charged? Okay, sorry. I was trying to plug the charging. So, and like I said on Sunday, at a point, we became like a broken record, pleading, sending messages, appealing, sending emails. And in one of the last meetings, I said it very clearly on Sunday. I was almost embarrassed when they brought some scenarios to us, because so far we have gathered consent of over 9,000 people who wants to be part of this action from Nigeria. And the bill they gave us was $150,000. So while we were pleading, they came up with this calculation and asked us, because the truth was that they picked us according to what we're told. They picked us from several other companies who had written to them. And if you listen to them on Sunday, one of the things that the professor said was that part of the reason they picked us was that because they found value in our case. They believed that our case makes sense, and there are high chances of success. So they said, Pastor, we are asking you to pay $150,000. Let me also state here that this $150,000 is not for the law firm. It's for the investigation firm. The law firm is not going to charge a kobo until recovery. And even at recovery, their charges is going to be part of the court pronouncement. So the court will pronounce, as part of the recovery, an appointment of a receiver company. The court will pronounce that Will Morris can take 2% of 5%, 10%. You can follow the videos of Omni FX and confirm that that is actually the way it goes. So Morris Law Firm are not going to on their own charge us. The court is going to say, this is how much we permit you to take. So this was their postulation. Two postulations they did, and both of them made me look a bit, looking like, was I stupid? And so 150,000 divided by 10,000, they because we told them that we are still gathering the consent. So 9,500, they rounded up to 10,000. So if they divide 150,000 by 10,000 people equally, we are saying everybody is paying $15. And I remember him saying, okay, so if I know Naira then was about 1,500, it was even less. So we are asking everyone to pay 22,500. You know, we told him, because not everybody invested the same amount, so this straight line method will not. So he said that from the information we gave them, we have about $27 million that we had invested from the consent registration we had. So said $150,000 divided by $127 million. So which means that you can see it's a 0.00. So I did 8 times 1,000. So he said, what we are asking you is about $1.2 for every $1,000 invested. And at that point, we started, after that meeting, the investigation firm were not willing to even concede on $1. So we now said we'll get back to them. Okay, so am I still being heard?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I want to know in the YouTube if I'm still being heard. We're not
loud and clear.
Concede on $1. So we now. So beautiful. So what's so we now went back to our drawing board and consulted largely, and we designed something that we felt was reasonable to share with the entire Nigeria investors. And you remember that the first time we gathered the consent, we requested a little support of $20 per person. In this, we got about $4,100 or $4,003. So, which means that even if we look at how many people out of about 9,000 or 9,500 paid, 4,000 divided by $20 means only about 200 people supported the cause. In this case, we have seen that this is not optional. There are 2 questions I asked on Sunday, and I'm going to ask us again, because Morris Law Firm said they are giving us 2 weeks so that we come back to them and we will be able to tell them we cannot afford it, so that they can consider other companies that are seeking for their services. But So the first question is, do we think, okay, we should go ahead with this? Before I do that, let me now show us what we were able to do, what we came up with. And just please a minute or a second. Let me show us what we came up with. So we came up with this arrangement. We came up with this arrangement. I believe we can all see this. Oh, sorry, I've not shared my screen. So we came up with this arrangement, which we believe in sharing the $150,000. We discussed and consulted widely, and everybody felt this was good. On Sunday, we shared this. Majority of over 500 people said this was very reasonable. And so I am showing this to us now. We agreed, or we designed this to say, we broke the different investment groups into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those that invested above $50,000. Those that invested above $50,000. And I did some other calculations here. Okay, so we said those that invested above $50,000, we donate $200. That $200, let me come here now. Let me just change this slightly. So that $200 is about 260,000 naira. The $50,000 is about 60 million naira. So if you invested $50,000, it means you invested about 60 million naira. And then that is $15,000 above, up to 500,000, 200,000. Anything greater than 50,000 is donating $200, which is about 260,000 naira. The next category is those that invested between $10,000 and $49,999. Between $10,000 and $49,999, we donate $100. And what we are saying is that for $10,000, which is the basic, the minimum, that means we invested 12 million naira. We are saying, please donate 130,000 naira. I'm giving the naira equivalent so that we understand the naira. You know, most of us we are more comfortable with dollar, with naira. So for those that invested from $5,000 to $9,999, we give $50. That means that for the base minimum, which is $5,000, we invested 6 million naira. We are saying give 65,000 naira. The next category is those that invested between $1,000 and $4,999. We say give $20. And what we are saying is give 26,000 naira. For those that invested between $1,000 and $300, we say give $10, which is 13,000 naira. I'm using 1,300 as our rate. You know, naira is between that 1.2 and 1.3 currently. Those that invested below 300, which means $200 downward, we are saying, don't bother these people. They are not giving anything. So this is what we came up with. We ran it by several people, and they felt it was reasonable. So We presented it on Sunday also, and everyone also, or not everyone, majority, more than 300 from this thing said this is reasonable. And they asked a lot of questions, which I'm going to leave you to ask questions now. One of the questions they asked is, what are the chances of recovery? What is the assurance? And I remember the representative of the law firm said, there is no lawyer of good repute that will give assurance for anything that is litigation. However, they have reviewed our case and they saw that we have a case, and they saw that they have potential of recovery, but there is no guarantee of recovery. So at this point, the question we are asking is, I invested $50,000, which is about 60 million naira. Am I willing to use 240,000 to go this route and test and try based on the reputation of this company that we have seen? And you will go again to that YouTube and see again. Am I willing to give additional, having invested 60 million naira, am I willing to give another 240,000 naira to see how this goes? I invested $10,000. Am I willing to give 60,000 naira now to try this case based on the evidences we have seen from the performance of this company? I invested $1,000. Am I willing to give, that's about 600,000 in today's value, am I willing to give 12,000 naira to let's try this option? This is what we're asking. Should we go ahead? Or should we say, this is too expensive, let's forget about it and let's just swallow our pain once and for all? The option of taking it from recovery is not their option. And I have told us, let's not propose what we have discussed and it is not acceptable. The law firm themselves, they are not collecting any money. I've said it again, I've given us the YouTube channel. Go and watch the YEMI FX procedure. They didn't take a dime from the investors until after recovery. And even after recovery, it was part of the court pronouncement to say, take this percentage of the recovered amount. Now, this money we are spending on the investigation, how does it go? If we don't recover, if they don't recover, there's nothing we can do about it. If they recover, it's going to again come in as part of the expenditure in the process. So for some of us that were in the meeting on Sunday, it was explained. Because the expenditure that was incurred in the process of all of this is going to be accounted for. The court will ask that those monies be deducted first before the remnant is distributed to the people that are filed for the class action. So this 150,000 will also be deducted as part of the expenditure, and in due course, if there is a recovery, refunded back to those that sponsor the class action. So is the 150,000 optional? We have tried. It is not an option. Is this a law? Is this a charge by the law firm? No, it's a charge by the investigation firm that the law firm uses to investigate and trace all of where the money is to the end point. And so the question is, should we go ahead? The second question is, if we say we should go ahead, is this distribution, does it make sense? Is it reasonable? It will not be perfect, but is it reasonable? We have 2 weeks to get back to them with this 150,000, or sorry, we don't think we can go ahead with this. So please, I'm watching the room, and I will also beg the word coach, MAD, please help me search through the meeting room, and if you have any question. So somebody is saying, okay, so please, you can copy the questions for me in my room here. Now, somebody's asking, let me see. Somebody says, I will not just read the negative comment, I will read all of it. Somebody says, let's go ahead, proceed, go ahead, sir, go ahead, we should please go ahead, very reasonable. Let them take it from the investment, it's not an option. This is reasonable, loud and clear, sir. Thank you for the step taken. I pray God will see us through. Amen. The earlier, the better for us. Let's go ahead, proceed, please. Where is the law firm domiciled? So let me start from there. I will stop this screen. Where is the law firm domiciled? The law firm is domiciled in Florida, USA. And this is their website. MorrisLegalFla.com. This is their main website. I'm going to, please, somebody should help me copy it and put it in the YouTube room. Then they have a second website which they design for any law case that they are handling. When you look at this one, say willmorrislaw.com. This is a second website. Oh, sorry, I'm not streaming. I'm not streaming now. Let me stream. This is willmorrislaw.com. This is not their website. This is the website for any case that they are currently engaged on. Then this is their main law firm, MorrisLegalFla.com. So you can do your investigations. As far as we know, they are in Florida, USA. This is the phone number. But please, because we were all in the meeting on Sunday, for those of us in the meeting on Sunday, and when somebody yesterday posted that he called the company and nobody was speaking. Please, this is America we are talking about. Between the time we published this and the time this person posted it, America was on night. In their time zone, they were on night. Number two is that even if somebody picks the call and you say, please, I want to confirm, is this company handling Omega Pro Fund reclamation? The answer you might get might be, let me check our legal record. No, we don't have any of this client on our litigation list. And why? We had not signed any agreement. We had not paid anything. So all of this conversation is at the top hierarchy of the company. A receptionist, a call center operator will not have it yet. But like I said, I will love where people begin to bring sensible and reasonable red flags, if there are any. And that's why I keep telling us, please, it is in our interest for you to do a quick investigation. We have done the best that we can. And however, it might not be perfect, and it's never perfect. So help us to do it. But one of the channels I want to use is the Professor channel on YouTube. All the proceedings of the M&A effect that they have come to recovery, all of it were there, with the meetings with the investors, even in collecting evidence for their investment to begin to process their recovery. I hope that is clear. So let's start as soon as possible. I believe the law firm, please, let's go ahead. Let's give it a good shot. What happens to the initial $20 we paid? Now, I'm going to come to that. I'm going to come to that. So we are going to, if we all agree and we are starting, we are going to come up with a procedure for payment. Sincerely, during the $20 donation, I had people even close to me who genuinely wanted to pay. But based on experience, nobody wants to use his account to collect this kind of money. And so we declined it. So only a few people who understand crypto and can send money were actually and wanted to supported. Some wanted to support, but they don't understand crypto. And so we said we want to make this process a bit easier this time around. So we have developed a procedure and we are going to share this. Let me be sure that you are seeing my screen again. Let me close and reshare the screen. So part of what we have done is to source for, on your behalf, a crypto merchant. We might, if we look at the effectiveness of this crypto merchant and we think that we need a second one, we might get a second one. But we currently have a crypto merchant that we have discussed with, who, for those, so you can see on the screen, we have 3 options. Are we following? Please let me know if we are following. Are you hearing me well? Are they hearing me well on the YouTube? Please let somebody answer me. Screen.
It's loud and clear.
Options. Thank you very much. So we have this, and we are going to make it more beautiful than this, and we are going to send it out, and we also have it in scripted form. Look, this is the scripted form. You can see option 1, option 2, option 3. But I will use, for this purpose, I'm going to use this diagrammatic form because I love images. Option 1 is for crypto users. I know how to do my transfer. So the first thing is identify amount payable. You can see it. Identify the amount payable. What am I trying to say? What I invested is $24,500. I come to the charts and I look at it. Where do I fall here? And I discover 24,500 falls between those that invested 10,000 to 49,000. So I am to contribute $100. So I collect the what do you call it? The USDT wallet address, and I send the $100. And so make USDT payment. And on the remark, while you are sending the USDT on your withdrawal screen, you will put IFO in favor of your name in full. That is the remark. We want it to be put there. Then you make payment, and you will forward the evidence of the payment to this email address, recomp.option1@gmail.com. recomp.option1@gmail.com. Now, and you are done. If you are in the option 2, these are the category of people who do not, non-crypto users. The first thing is identify the amount payable. I will still use the example. Okay, maybe this time around I invested $7,000. In what category do I fall? $7,000 is in this category of between $5,000 and $9,999, and to donate $50. But I'm a non-crypto user. I don't know crypto. I don't know USDT. I don't know Bitcoin. So when you identify that you are paying $50, contact the merchant who will drop his phone number on the group. Contact him, but please try and make sure and try. I'm not saying you cannot call him on phone. Make sure it is on chat, on WhatsApp. Contact the crypto user and pay the Naira equivalent to him. One of the things I agree with the merchant today is that every day on our platform, we are going to publish the rate for the day. We don't want individual of you to go to him. I know we believe he's a trusted person. That's why we have disagreement with him. But at the same time, we don't want any exploitation or loophole. So we want to be able to say every day we'll publish the rate. The rate of USDT today is 1,350 to $1. So that you are not going to him to ask for rates. You just say 1,350 times $50, and you send it to him after you have chatted him up and you have spoken. And then when you send it to him, and you will not send the evidence, the screenshot of the payment you sent to him. When he confirms, he will do the transfer, receive crypto proof of payment. Okay, he will now send the money to the wallet address. That's the wallet address we are using, and then send the evidence. It will also make sure that the withdrawal description will be in favor of your name. Then it will send evidence of the transfer to you. You will now email the crypto payment evidence and the Naira payment evidence, the one you pay to him and the one he helped you to transfer evidence. You send the two to recomp.option2 recomp.option2@gmail.com. You will have this detail. The third option for that question will be answered. Yeah, the third option is people who made donation the last time. I invested $20,000, but I made $20 donation the last time. So what do you say? Identify the amount that you have to pay. I said how much? $20,000, ba? So let's check it. $20,000 is in this category, and that means I am paying $100. But I've made $20 donation the last time, so I have $80 balance to make. I check the rate for the day, contact the merchant by WhatsApp chat, and send the equivalent of $80 to him. Please, because we know that the 200 people that donated $20 to us did it in goodwill. However, so that nobody take advantage of this loophole, please make sure that you have the evidence of the last one you paid. If you don't have it, please, let's just overlook it. So, because you will now decide, if you are a crypto user, you will just go and send it to the wallet address, put in favor of IFO, your full name. If you don't, then at this point, you will contact, using the option 2, the merchant, send the Naira equivalent of $80 to him. He transferred it. The evidence of the two, you will send it to the email. Are you getting it now? So this is how we are going to. We also have a different email, recomp.merchant. Recomp.merchant. That is all the evidences from the merchant side. He will also be sending to that email. So every reconciliation will reconcile the things from his email and the things from this email. So that is the arrangement that we have made. So that describes exactly what we want to do in the payment. And again, that answers the question, what of those that paid earlier? But please, if you paid earlier and there is no evidence, please, in the name of God, understanding that we are human beings, there's no way we can just accept from everybody that I did when there's no evidence. Just the same goodwill you used to donate that $20 without even any compulsion, just do the complete amount. I hope that is clear. So somebody say, I'm sure those saying go ahead are those below $500 that will not pay. Only those below $300 will not pay, sir. However, I do not think so, because whichever way, let me also show you something that I did. Most of us, we are paying just exactly the same percentage. And I'm going to show you. Apart from the first category of the $50,000, look at it here. Those that invested $50,000, which is about 60 million, they are paying 240,000. It's a 0.4% of what they invested. But from 10,000 to 50,000 is 1% of what they invested. 5,000 to 1,000 is 1% of what they invested. In fact, the 1,000 to 5,000 is 2% of what they invested. 1,000 to 300 is 2% of what they invested. I did all of these formulas. So the majority of people, the people that are paying the highest, are the people that invested below $5,000, 2% of what they invested originally. The rest of us are doing 1%, except the 50,000 and above that are doing 0.4%, not up to 1%. Is this clear? So if we look at that, there is no advantage for them, because it is just a higher percentage even for them. That's the best option. Thank you. Let them take their percentage after recovery. It's not their option. Let them take their charge after recovery. It's not their option. Let's go ahead immediately. God bless you for the effort. Very reasonable analysis. Let's go ahead. It's better than nothing. Go ahead. Distribution is reasonable. Please go ahead with the action on ground. I feel it is fair enough, and this one is okay. Let them go ahead. Some are willing to pay. Some are not willing to pay another pence. Beautiful. Now, let me say this. From the case that we had, as we always use YEMI as a reference case, if you do not pay, you are not part of the class action. Let me show you this. The registration we did earlier on, of the 9,000 people, I'm going to hide some information before I share, so that I do not expose other people's personal information. So I will cover the upline information. And so, let me share this. We have the information of everyone that have agreed they want to be part of this. And this is the way it goes. If we recover money from the case study of the previous recovery they have done, the recovery goes to those that recruited them. Are you listening to me now? And where they have been paid and there is excess money, they can return it back to the receiver for any other person that comes to on this same matter. However, this is what the law firm said in their answer, because we even made some clarification because it was not clear. If while this has started, let's say France team saw that we are making good progress and they approach Morris law firm, Will Morris, we want to be part of this. They will tell them, we can only have one claimant. So go to the Nigerian leaders and show your intent to join this same class action. Are you following me? When they come to us, we will give them this same sheet that if you want to be part of this, this is how much everybody that was part of this action contributed. You have to contribute it. So they will register consent with payment again. And so what that means is that we have more money in our hands than we need. Then, if at the point of recovery, there is no recovery, then we have 150,000 and our 150,000 are gone into this process. We can now decide and say, oh, we have 20,000 people from France and 10,000 from Nigeria. The 150,000, we share it across to everybody equally. If there is recovery, we will first deflate our own payment because we are the one that paid the fees to the Nigerian team. So, which means that indirectly, there is no cost incurred on the investigation because we have been paid back by the French team. So there are several things that can happen which nobody can predict now, but that's the way it's going to go. Anyone that is not part of this consent is not going to take out of the recovery. Let me give you an example. YEMI FX recovery investment, the total investment was $350,000, but only $180,000 was recovered. That $180,000 is only going to those who consented, who were part of the class action. The rest they will go and claim their own from the remaining $190,000 that they have not recovered. So I hope this is clear. Let me go on. Let them get their charges after recovery. It is not their option. I've said this again. If you didn't start with us, it is not their option. We have said all of this. We have begged, we have written. I can forward chat messages. It is not their option. It is only the law firm that is willing to wait till after recovery. The investigation team and not that company entirely are not willing. What's the name of the investigation firm? We will confirm if they are willing to give us that information. This statement is reasonable. Please proceed. Look like pastor. Oh, okay. I'm okay with it. Please, can you drop this YouTube channel name so that we can send it to the group to those that are not here to listen? We will drop the recording of this message, but not on the YouTube channel. It will be pulled down immediately this is over because it's a private YouTube channel. It is not for this kind of thing. But the recording is being done on another platform. We'll make it available. Let them use their fund. It's sweet to say that. They can get their charges after recovering. I've explained those who have contributed before, but please, if you don't have evidence, just the same way you gave us in free will, just do it. I'm telling you, please, if if Engineer Isaac is here, please can you send me the screenshot of the wallet for the last contribution, the live screenshot as at this minute, so that we send it to the group. You see that money you contributed, not $1 had been taken out of it, not $1. So it's reasonable. We should go ahead. 150K is a one-time payment option. We can start with what we can collect from now. No, they are not willing to take part payment. All of these were discussed even after the last meeting. We wanted them to, because the CFTC case is already closing, I wanted them to do 1 or 2 investigations, but they said they can't do anything until the whole payment is made. What if Omega Pro founders have lost all the money? Then we see. Like I said, recovery, there is no guarantee, but they said our case makes sense. So there is no guarantee. So if they have lost all the money, then we will find it there and we say, "Talk, we give up at this point." Let them source for the funds from us elsewhere. Ebele, Eme, Guinea. Your suggestion is very beautiful, but it's not acceptable to them. We have made this to them, and so there is no point in repeating this. Will there be any additional contribution in the future? None to my knowledge. If they have lost all the money, then we will know that we change. Like I told people on Sunday, I am involved in this because of who borrowed me that English on Sunday. Please, you can borrow me again. That is why I'm in this meeting. It is time draining, energy and attention draining. But I'm in this because of posterity. Yes, that's the word. I'm in this because of posterity. And so if you understand that, you will know that we are just doing it so that we will satisfy our conscience that we didn't chicken out. We made all good efforts. What happened to the law firm we hired before? They are going on with their process. However, like I said, CFTC matter is rounding up. We have little opportunity with CFTC matter. And I don't want us to sit in this minute to discuss that. Our opportunities, some of us sent messages, somebody even posted it on our group yesterday, even though it was eventually deleted, that they sent a mail to him. It was clearly stated there, if you do not directly invest with any of these listed companies in this litigation, you cannot file for claimant. Okay? Why ask investors to pay? We are not asking investors to pay. We are asking people who are interested in this class action. Under contribution, that doesn't sound palatable, beautiful. Truly, it doesn't sound nice to me too. But we have a second option. Let's walk away. Please, for the various accounts, let me explain this again. For example, this is Pastor YEMI, and I have like 40 accounts in my house. 17 is written Pastor YEMI AYODELE or YEMI AYODELE in the name. 12 is written Jane AYODELE, my daughter. 7 is written Sunday AYODELE, my son. Those are 3 different registrations, because there are 3 individuals, because eventually the consent you register, you have to provide the evidence of the investment. So when you bring a consent on YEMI AYODELE and you bring the investment of Jane AYODELE, they are not the same. But if all your 2,000 accounts bears one name, it is one registration, and you just find where you belong in the payment. I hope this is very clear. So multiple accounts are allowed as long as it bears the same name. Those that have $100, please, again, if you invested $100 and $200, you have a free consent. That's what we are saying. You have free consent. And let me also share this with us, because we might be thinking that this is some big thing, money and all of that. Look at already, this system already calculated. Oh, I'm not sharing now. Let me share. The system before me here already calculated what everybody is going to give. Let me search for, okay, I don't want to use any particular name, but let me just go down. So let me just pick any name at random. Name number 500. Let me go to 500. Okay, look at this person. I've hidden his name. Invested 36,500. You can see. Now let's go. The amount to be contributed is $100. You can see amount to be contributed $100. Let me go to number registration number 5,750. This person invested $500 is to contribute $10. So we already match everybody that have registered consent with how much they are going to pay. So the moment we finish the collection and your name is, so as soon as payment starts, we will have a remark column that will say paid, 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 paid with date. The moment the remaining people that did not pay will be removed out before we forward the consent registration to the law firm. Now, let me now show us. We said we have about $10,000, 10,000 people that are registered. Out of these 10,000, more than 3,000 people are not paying anything. And you can see that the majority are paying $10. I've been scrolling down now for how many pages? Majority are paying $10. Now you can see $300. You can see all of that. Now look at it. From the point here of $298, that is a $200 investment in the real sense of it. You can see amount to pay is zero. From this point till 10,000, you can see 0, 0, 0, 0. So over 3,000 people are given free consent. And more people that registered and invested $200 and $100 is free consent. Free consent registration. Okay? Only concerns for the money to still be intact. We can't say. That's the truth. But can we try and reason here? If somebody had collected, let's look at just Nigerian money. Okay, Nigerian money might be small. Nigerian money is about $200 million. So let's add Nigeria with France. That could be as much as $1 billion. 200 million, so $1 billion. Let's say $500 million. Do you think that somebody can spend $500 million on rice and beans, cars, this? I think it's not likely. In that, no, it is most likely that anybody that spent $500 million within 2 years bought houses, bought some cars, bought some wristwatches, bought some luxurious things. And all of this, in the case of Omni FX, houses were sold. So everything may not be intangible and liquid cash, but they will be intangible assets that can be converted to cash. Are you getting it now? So because of that, we may have out of $200,000, we are able to recover, let's say, $120,000 or $120 million. So we are looking at possibilities, okay? So the concern that the money will still be intact is not guaranteed. But is it possible for somebody to spend $500 million in 2 years on chop chop? It's most likely not possible. I've explained how to treat several accounts. Make sure it is one name. So register the consent with your first account. For example, you have Jane OK1, Jane OK2, Jane OK50, Jane OK100. Just say Jane OK. And you see there's a place they're asking, how many accounts do you have? You say 100. What is the total amount? You now add all of that. Please don't add the profits. This is not intended for payment. This is intended for consent to know how much were directly taken from us. Don't add the $98, $49, $99, $20. Don't add that. 100, 200, 500, 800, 1,000, 3,000, 5,000. That's what we want in this place. What becomes those that do not have money to pay, that means they are not part of this class action. Is the one how do you calculate the total sum of investment? The one you did with a name. Okay, while I'm doing that, okay, let me just try and run and go through this. What about pause? Let me explain this. In our letter of request to them, we joined the related companies to Omega Pro and we asked them to investigate all of them. And those are Omega Pro, Go Global, and X and Pulse. So that is in their searchlight. If you have 10 accounts with different names, I'm sorry, because this consent will be used to match the evidence. For most of us in our groups, for the last 2 weeks, we've been posting, go and capture the evidence of your account. So it is wrong if you now bring a consent with Jane Samuel and you bring the evidence of Samuel Chukura. Do you understand? You know, we are dealing with information here. So it's unfortunate if you have 10 accounts and they all have 10 different names. There are 10 different consents. Please. The recovery of funds is under probability, right? Yes, sir. Yes, ma, whatever. If you did investment of $100 and $200, please, you have free consent. Just register your consent. Don't donate anything. If you have account, any name, whether it's children or adults, a name is a name. Any new name is a new consent, please. Because when we get to the point of matching with evidence, then you might have a problem and you may not be able to claim it. So it's better we just get it right. There's no comment section in the consent form. There's only comments remark in the payment, in the crypto withdrawal. And that is say, in favor of IFO, your full name. We will share this sheet. We will not be in Excel sheet. The procedure to undergo, we will share it. Okay, so let me stop here and invite my partner and one of the committee members to shed light on some of the questions. Mr. Theophilus, please, you can unmute.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. My name is Theophilus. I am part of Omega Pro Investors, though I reside in Japan. So I'll be glancing through questions that people have been asking. So I would like to throw more light on the questions that you are asking regarding of our faith and our hope of the probability of recovering our lost fund, and what will be the consequence of the founders of Omega Pro eventually. I can state to you categorically that for over 2 months now and for over a year, I invested in another platform apart from Omega Pro, of which we have been part of that lawsuit, and those lawsuits are going on, and some have scaled through, while some are on process. It is the hope that we have on those platforms that we decided, okay, now that we have an Omega Pro that involved much investors in Nigeria, that let's introduce legal firm to our country, Nigeria. So that, because I know how many of us are devastated just the same way I am, because I invested a huge amount of money in September 2022. Then in November, this thing happened, of which I was unable to withdraw a dime from the platform. But I will not allow my money that I worked for with sweat to go scot to just for people to just abscond with it like that. We must fight, and we must fight the battle. And by the grace of God, at the end, victory will be for us. For example, if you watch WWE, you will see John Cena. We said never give up. The day you quit, that is the day you lose. And secondly, when you have a bottle of oil, when you have a bottle of oil and you have oil in the bottle and the bottle is frozen, to defrost that oil, what you have to do is to put that very bottle on a hot water to defrost that oil, then and take away your oil in the liquid form. That is exactly what we want to do. Then to answer those questions, right, what we are about to do, we are using a case study of the present case that are going on. The same way we are fighting those cases, that is the same way we want to use to fight this Omega Pro. And I believe if we succeed in the other platform that we are fighting for, in Omega Pro case, we will succeed. Then let me give a reference to the YEMI-FS. YEMI-FS is a platform just like Omega Pro, which purported to be trading cryptocurrency and forex trading. They have investment platform where investors invested more than $356 million. But when this Ponzi crashed, we filed a lawsuit and everything. Then with this law firm, register consent and everything, we follow it all. How does this law firm work? They have a court jurisdiction that they are using in Florida and New York. And the judge in this court, they are former prosecutor of all this Ponzi scheme. Now they are judges. So they don't want to hear about this crypto fraud or forex fraud happening to investors, because they definitely know any company promising you 10% monthly of return is a fraud. So they, what they do earlier, they give a warning for people to desist from investing on all these platforms. But because we want to make money, we want to earn passive income, we'll say, okay, let's just give it a try, of which I cannot blame you, just the same way I can't blame myself of all these things. But if we can succeed in the past ones, I believe with this Omega Pro, we will, although it's going to take time, we will succeed. What we are going to do, one, we are requesting for two things: to make sure we are able to recover our funds from these funders. Then number two, to make sure anywhere they are hiding, they are being arrested, prosecuted, and sentenced accordingly. So somebody that is asking about that consequence, their consequence, definitely when they are being arrested, they will be sentenced and jailed, because automatically they have committed fraud against humanity. So it is against the law of US. That is why the law firm, the first thing they did for them, somebody was asking, why can't we use a law firm in Nigeria? Yes, every other country, when you are dealing with all this international fraud case, it doesn't carry weight, except it is the US, because FBI is recognized everywhere in the world. FBI can go to anywhere in the world to fish out individuals that have committed fraud. So what they do, that is why we are paying this money to employ the services of investigators. What will be the work of those investigators? One is to find where our money in, from blockchain, from the Bitcoin of Omega Pro, Pulse Network, Go Global, all their wallets we used to pay in money and we used to withdraw money. They will have to trace all of them to see where all this money go. Like in the case of YEMI-FS, these funds were traced to Estonia in a wallet. That is where they recovered that 156 million they're about to distribute to investors that consented for the class action. So that is one thing you should note. This law class action is not mandatory for everybody. It's for any person that think that, I have suffered to earn money. I want to sacrifice this one to make sure, say, the money I have suffered to invest, I want to recover that money back. So that is why we are doing this, because me, I cannot allow my money that I invested to just go like that. One is for us to try to recover our money and to make sure these founders, they don't go free and they will go to prison. Then if these two objectives or one of these objectives is accomplished, I will be very happy. That is our goal. Then number two, if Omega Pro liquidated their money, said they don't have money, what is our fate of recovery? One, there is what we call food web, food chain. Any money that went out of the blockchain, it must go to account. You must withdraw money from the blockchain, from the cryptocurrency to fiat currency. It must go to bank. They have to trace this money from the cryptocurrency account. If they withdraw this money to buy house, to buy aircraft, to buy everything, they have to trace everything to anywhere this money went to. If it is houses they bought, if it is aircraft they use the money to buy, if it is any property they buy, they have to trace everything and make sure, okay, when they see all these things, where the properties are, they will not take what we call interlocutory court injunction to make sure, say, these assets are frozen while we bring a criminal and civil case against this founder. From there, the court will issue an arrest warrant for every of our plaintiff that we name on these defendants. Every defendants, they will have to go and look for them anywhere they are in this world with FBI. So if we are using our EFCC in Nigeria and everything, they can't go to anywhere. They can't go to Dubai. They can't go to Sweden. They can't go to Germany. They can't go. But FBI will go to anywhere in the world to make sure, say, they arrest these people and prosecute them, then sentence them accordingly. So this is what they did in FiMwYA. When they arrest the guy, the founder of FiMwYA, the judge was like, they will sentence him to like 50 years imprisonment. Come to the table and align with the judge, discuss, okay, where are all this money? We're able to recover so amount of money. The rest money, where they are. If you are able to provide where all this money, we will reduce your jail term. So what they do, this man complied and tell them, confess, this is where all the monies are, this is where they are. So they have to go after them and frozen all the assets and reduce the jail terms of the FiMwYA, his name, reduce the jail term to 9 years imprisonment. If he refused to confess and say, okay, this is where the money is, the jail term could have been 25 years and above. So that is the same thing we want to do. In Novatech, that is what is currently going on Even before we start a class action with Novatech, the Pentium was still moving around in America, in Florida. February 5th of this year, that is about 2 months ago, that is when we instituted a class action against the Novatech this thing. That very day, they brought their website down, and the Pentium ran away from US and ran to Dubai. Is currently a fugitive in Dubai, and FBI, they are tracing her down with the husband that are in charge of Novatech. So when we institute this, our class action against Omega Pro and the Prozis, the founders, the ones, we have submitted all the names to them. Once they see this class action and we hand over them to FBI, FBI will go anywhere they are hiding and fish them out to make sure, say, we arrest them and bring them to book. That answered the question, what will be the consequence? Then secondly, they have to trace where all these funds are. So those are the things we want to do. In the case of CFTC that we've been before, I've been following CFTC carefully. I know they arrest the only person that is mentioned that have connection with Omega Pro is Maxim. And Maxim, you did not invest money on Maxim directly. You invested in Omega Pro, though Omega Pro have connection with Maxim. But in the suit, because receivership, I'm the receivership for CFTC. He sent me an email just about 3 days ago and everything regarding the right of claim. What they said, you must be that you invested in one of these plaintiff, one of these defendants, for you to be able to file a claim. If we are believing, so okay, we will get our money from CFTC. I don't believe so. That is why we want to go further to make sure, say, we meet with this a law firm that can institute class action of civil lawsuit and criminal lawsuit against this founder. That is what we want to do. And to do this, we have to know where our money is first thing, and to know where these founders are hiding. Second one, then before we brought them to book. So I encourage everybody. It's a fight that everybody must join together to fight for us to succeed. So that is encouragement I want to give to you, because if we quit today, said we don't want to fight, that means we have lost our money. So we must fight to make sure that we're able to recover our money. Thank you very much. I think that answers some questions that I have been saying, people that need clarification. So
thank you. Thank you, Mr. Theophilus. That's beautiful. So we can hear from, so we've heard from him. So somebody is here, Mark Ben Chukuk. I said, you want to scam people afresh, Abi? Maybe. And maybe, Mark Ben, maybe you are disguised and you are actually Andrea Zakas. If you see this as another scam, whichever way, everyone has a decision, personal decision to make, okay? For those who have not filled recovery form, in another few days, we are going to open up the filling of the recovery form. Hopefully, tomorrow or next, we'll open up the submission of consent form again. And please, when we open it up, don't fill if you already filled. Let me also show you something so that you see the work that you're at. In fact, before this meeting up, as part of this, part of what we are considering is employing about 3 people for the period that this litigation will be undertaken. And I'm going to show you some of the kind of things that we receive when we ask people to submit form. Okay, so let me just show you this. Let me hide. Okay, there's no. Now look at somebody who is being asked, how much did you invest? It says 1. You can see 1, just type ONE, 1. Somebody, how much did you invest? No idea. I do not know. I can't remember. About 55. Now, what do you make of this information? Please, what do you make of this information? Some people will even type in Word, 1 million, so. So, in fact, for those who have contacted up till today, I still had to contact people to say, I saw your downline say he invested, like today, somebody said he invested $2 million. When we traced it with evidence, it was actually only $3,600. So look at what people type. Who does this kind of thing? And so we need to clean up this data before we submit. Look at somebody saying, I invested 14,000 euro. If you even check this person's phone number, it's a Nigerian phone number. Okay, this one is even Germany, but you see they will all manner of rubbish. So please, if we are opening it again, please give us less work to do, and let's do what is right. This is not asking you to submit how much you invested, is not asking you, this is what we'll pay you. At that point, all of that will take another total process. This is to ascertain how much money was taken from us. So please, let's do the right thing. And everything we did was in dollars. See somebody typing 384,000 naira, 1,446,450 naira. See 5 million. So if we took this as a dollar, $5 million, and I know to a large extent, nobody did $5 million. No single person did $5 million in Nigeria. This 3 million. So apparently this person must have been typing in naira. And look at it. We say, what the heading says, what is the total license in dollars? So please, that is that. Let me see as many questions that are fresh. Yes, sir. I've said it again, and I've told you how it works. What is recovered will only be shared to those who participate in this class action. You are just scared of losing more money. Sincerely, I'm more scared. But are you more satisfied with letting this go? Those are the two considerations you have to take. If somebody did not have money to pay, it will not be part of this class action. All fingers crossed, just go ahead. What you have to do at this point, may God help us. Why do you want a law firm in America? Why not in Nigeria? Okay, that has been answered. Nigeria, if money recovery is not enough to go around people considering individual input, it will, yes, that will be sorted. That one, the receiver will sort it out. It will come in percentage. So if you can take 10% of everybody, 50% of everybody, 70% of everybody, that's the way I know it goes. We are just seeing this information now. What if you didn't meet deadline of submission of recovery form? Please meet up. We open the recovery for a few days more, maybe 3 days. Can we have deadline for payments? It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks started counting on Monday. So it's 2 weeks to make payment from Monday, from this last Monday. Please, do you have the name of investors in Nigeria? Nobody has it except to submit consent. And the consent is not for everybody. It's only for people who have made up their mind they want to be part of this. If you didn't register consent, you want to be part of it, register consent. We will open it again tomorrow or next. Okay, somebody saying, if you think you can support this with more money, please do so. We will appreciate you, and we will appreciate you publicly. If you have an account like Ngozi 123, just say Ngozi, as long as it's the same name inside, just put Ngozi 1 and say Ngozi 123. It's 3 accounts. How long does the recovery process take? 2 years. 2 years on the estimates, as we were told yesterday on Sunday. If you have not registered consent before, register and make payment. It's not make payment without registering. It still does not, you are not still in the consent. Amen. May God give us wisdom to go about this. Amen. Please, payment will start tomorrow morning. We will distribute the procedure. We will give you the phone number of the merchant for those who cannot do the transfer themselves. But if you can do the crypto transfer yourself, you have the wallet address. Yes, new people can join. That's what we are saying. Don't feel concerned for anyone that does not pay. If you don't pay, if they cannot pay, they cannot join this action, except they invested below $200 and $100. Any other person that does more than that has to pay to be part of this. I think, okay, somebody's asking this question. I'm going to answer. If you remember on March 8th, one of the information we requested for Fresh was those that invested under the Nigerian team that are living and resident in America. So the part of the process is they want to establish jurisdiction. What that means is that those that invested in America that and lived in America will raise a class action, a litigation against the American citizen among the founders. and they are joining to the other founders who are not American citizens. That is what they call establishing jurisdiction. Somebody saying we should all refill the consent form. I think that is going to, we spent weeks to clean this old one. I think it's just safe to allow people who have not consented before to do. Please, if you have issues with how you register in the first one and you think you did something wrong, please trace your upline to your blue and black diamond and then let them make your case to the group. In the recovery process, what is being recovered, the principal amount or the principal money invested, we will recover everything recoverable. And that will not determine how much you are going to be paid. So please, based on the previous, they were told to register only my name for both account of myself and my wife. Please, they are two different people, just separate them, but reach out to the same upline and let them raise the case to the committee. Yes, you pay for your account and your wife's account separately because they are different consent, different names. The law does not see you to act together as one person. If not, you should have registered as Mr. and Mrs. Somebody's asking if the Excel sheet can be published. Let me ask you. Let me ask everybody in the house, do we think it makes sense to publish? I thought about this. Should we publish the Excel sheet? But you'll be releasing information about other people, other people's privacy. So people will now know that, oh, this Pastor YEMI that is even making noise only invested $300. You'll now be laughing at me. And somebody will say, oh, so this man has so much money. You know, that's private information. I thought about it, that will have just released it, let everybody verify what they have done, and if there's any problem, then we can tell you how to reach out. But it is not safe to do that. I remember we were initially told that the founders' account were frozen. What changed? You see, at this point, we don't know what is the truth and what is the lie, but the investigator will trace it. What will happen to those who move their money to broker? Ogunshola, nobody move money to broker. If you understand finance and a little of technology, nobody move money to broker group. They only move information to broker group and deceived us that there was a company called broker group still trading for us. Did you understand that now? Two years. Somebody is asking Omega Pro top leaders that promoted Omega Pro in Nigeria. Please tell us where they are. I don't have that. I don't have that information. Why are they not part of this? How do you know they are not part of this? Okay. Why are they keeping quiet? They are keeping quiet because we want to take over this for ourselves. We want to take over this process for ourselves. It is we, the investors, we that are pained. We want to take it over. And that is why the 3 committees were formed. If you started following from the beginning in October last year. So This is not a matter of who is a leader or is not a leader. This is a matter of the Theophilus that even first connected us to this law firm through the experiences and case study of YEMI FX is not a top leader. But we are in this together. Is my second right-hand man as we pursue this. So I want us to understand this and not chase ghosts. So I think for someone, I think the same information is what I'm saying. Please, if you have any new information, please post it now, and so that before we end. How about releasing it without names, but only the email addresses? It's still the same thing. There are some names that can be picked out of email addresses if you are smart. Person, this is what I'm saying. By the time we make this contribution, we are going to account for every detail of it. And let me show you my notes. We have planned to develop a new website. See, this information we have submitted now, when we want to submit evidence, how do we submit it? We'll start a fresh submission. So what I want to do is to develop a new website where you have a registration number. Anytime you point your registration number, it will fetch your old information and give you opportunity to add additional, maybe submit evidence. Are you getting it now? That is part of the cost we are looking at incurring. The second one is employ 3 to 5 people who will do all of this. If I have 3 to 5 people, what you're asking me to do will be very easy. I'll just give you their phone numbers and say, call these people and tell them you have a problem. They will search through your name. You say, what can you find? How much did you invest? Oh, no, you mistakenly put the Naira equivalent. Okay, what is it? Show me evidence and I change it from the system here. Do you understand? But at this point, we sat down, more than 5 of us, reconciling this form of over 9,000 people for about 2 weeks before we submitted it to the law firm. So, and all of us here do work. All of us here have our other passions. As you know, I'm a pastor, all of that. So what we're asking for is sweet if we have staff. And I can assure you, if this is concluded and we have a little excess money, we are going to tell you what we should do. And if we go ahead and say, go ahead, then we will employ people, we will develop additional new website and all of that. Please, who are you? Can you kindly introduce yourself? Oh, can the requested fund be payable through the funds gotten from? Please, if you want to be part of this, you have to make this sacrifice. Can you extend the payment so that we can meet up? I'm sorry, the time we are giving is about 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks, the law firm will consider other companies that's asking for their service if we cannot pay. The consent form, please, can we listen and hear this? The consent form will be released for additional consent for those who have not registered consent before now, between tomorrow and Thursday. Can $100 and $200 fill the... Oh my God. Please, everybody that is interested in this must fill the form, whether you are $100 or $200. What we are only saying is that $100 and $200 are exempted from paying. We say don't pay. Just register your consent. We will bring you in. You don't have to pay the time. But from 300, you have to pay. And by the deadline, if we cannot raise 150,000, we will return back to you, and everybody that have paid will refund their monies back. If we can raise $150,000, we go ahead. But before we submit, we remove every other person that have not paid from our consent list before we submit the consent list. I know 2 weeks is too brief, but this is what we've been on this since February with this law firm, and they have been very, very nice to us. I can tell you they've been very, very nice to us. Thank you very much. I think we have done well enough. Please, For those of us that I told us in the afternoon that we will have a brief meeting, please trust me, this meeting will not last longer than 20 minutes. So please, for those of you that I posted in the group here in the afternoon, please, I know we know ourselves, I don't want to mention name. Please, I'm dropping the link now. Please just join now. As I end this meeting, we will come back up just for 15-20 minutes. Thank you.